Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Badlands Crew, where the map's a little bit different. You might notice I went and restored the faith of one of the strongholds that we were losing track of. But in so doing, I guess the other stronghold got tired of my bullshit and they bailed on us. That's the first time that's happened. It's the first time I've ever had a stronghold or an outpost fully revert like that. But while I was doing the missions to restore the other stronghold, I made a very interesting discovery. There was a relic, a big, huge skeleton out of the desert draped over some buildings, and within that relic, of course, a cache. And within that cache, look at this fucking thing. Y'all remember yesterday when I was saying, you know what? There might just be engines above 12 cylinders. Yeah, it turns out there's a relic out there in the desert what has a 24-cylinder engine in it, and all of a sudden we're fucking all set. So redesigned the car a little bit. You can see I installed a generator in maybe not the most secure location. We'll see. We're just trying it out. And so we got a couple of those big old guns here, a couple of those, what are they called, pit bulls, installed in the corners, adding to our skull aesthetic. You know, we're getting it running. And also I put down a couple more of those storage crates, because, like, what the hell, why not? At this point. And honestly, like, it might be worth doing a more comprehensive redesign now that we have this much extra storage weight. We might be able to do something, like, really wild. But I want to just get out there and try it like this. Let's give this a test. Two reasons. One, I just want to see these new guns in action. And two, I want to see if the position that they're in, like, I want to see if they have the same problem that the pool ball cannons have, or had, as far as waist shots go. Whether that was an issue of the positioning, where the guns were just not free to move because they have them placed too low against the walls, or whether it really was the pool ball cannons themselves. So, to that end, let's go fuck something up. Yeah, Outpost captures, this seems like a great idea. We gotta replace. So we lost, it was one of these, right? We had one of these ones and it flipped back. It's very annoying. We'll worry about it later. Right now, let's go fetch ourselves a new one. Let's go put these giant, shiny miniguns to the test. Something tells me that the kind of gun you traditionally mount on a helicopter is probably going to be slightly more effective at destruction than a thing that uses compressed air to shoot pool balls at people. You know, honestly, I didn't even look. I might have been able to remove a compressor. Right, because I think the pool ball cannons were using compressors. So I might have been able to remove a compressor and put the generator in a more secure compressor position. Well, we'll see. Oh, right, and this thing's still not unblocked. Although I guess we wouldn't use that path anyway. So we want to go east and then elsewhere. And also, we should just be, like, a lot faster now. Considerably faster, and with more nitro. A greater amount of time that can be stored up to just go full burn. And I wouldn't expect that we are going to see any relics or anything here, because this is all territory we've traveled over in the past. Okay. Things are going alright so far. So let's see. We'll go this way. May as well search for resources, although I bet we've cleared all the caches in this area. I cannot believe they can hit stuff at that distance. That is wild. What are we driving into? Oh, well, it turns out we're not going to get into the storm anyway. One of the missions that I did undertake between the last two episodes was a gecko race, just to uncover some more map. And almost the entire race happened inside of... Almost the entire race happened inside of one of those dust storms that makes you not able to see your map at all. Very frustrating conditions. I'm not going to bother with those crates, obviously. We're gonna go to the place and do the thing. But the good news is that race picked me up a couple of extra training manuals, so I think we're at like 10 now? 10 or 12? Alright, shed the pursuers just in time to have a whole set of new problems. And you know, I will say I am not seeing a lot of fire coming out of the cannons here. Alright, let's slow time down a little bit. See if we can do this in a way where we can get some vision. No, I want the other tower. Here we go. Alright, there's a lot of projectiles. Are they pointed in the right direction? It looks like they may not be. Okay, so I might just have to... Well, you know, you can see the guns turning and tracking now. But I mean, the problem was never that they just weren't shooting. It was that they were specifically not aiming where they were told during waste shots, and that seems to still be the case. So I might have to do a little redesign here to free the gun barrels up. That's fine. We can do some of that. Oh yeah, I should be drumming. Thanks for reminding me. Very, very slow walk speed. Okay. Now let's hit the health too, because it looks like it's getting a little real out there. Alright, I think Santos should have that pretty easy. Well, spoke too soon, clearly. Okay, that worked. I think we just need to... Yep, that. I think we just need to do that. Okay, yeah, so this guy's definitely a pyro character. Not one that we've seen a lot of, but... Come on, get to the thing. Alright, call in the reinforcements, and let's see about just cooking this driver. I can't see shit. Alright, good enough, good enough. Managing to somehow shoot through the little gap between the APC hull and the car carrier. Wow, he took a lot of shots directly to the face there. I can't believe he's still alive. Oh, he's not. Never mind. Handled. It just takes a second for the car to crash. There it is. That was a 12,000 point kill. Or 12,000 XP kill. That's remarkable. And my reinforcements just showed up. Well, I have to say, when the miniguns are able to actually hit the spots that they want to hit, it does seem like they're putting out pretty solid damage. The thing is, we still don't really have armor that's more effective than the APC hull. Like maybe a tiny little bit. Because the APC hull has like 1,200-ish health, I think, and every like the best chunks of armor, the best armored pieces that we have, only have 1,300 armor on them. All right, Chief Dante and Lord Griffin both defeated, so even the warlords weren't immune to the Orator's influence. It does make me wonder, though, why does he still allow them to be called Lord and Chief while serving under him? Yeah, you know, we probably could just... You could just let people have their little bits of self-confidence. It's fine. The Orator's refuge is a vast area, and the Orator's hiding away in his stronghold, right at the top. We'll need to work hard to make sure our battle wagon and crew are as strong as possible. Oh, yeah? Is that a good idea, to make sure that our stuff is strong? Thanks. Good insights. Alright, what's your carry weight right now? 60? 60 is probably enough, right? I might just want to, like, push life force at this point. It's like an extra 10 HP. Yeah. A little bit extra walk speed's not hurting him at this point either. Ueno. You know, having somebody else capable of operating the command station is probably a good idea. I don't think it should be Ueno, but I do think some of these people that we've recruited must have points in Boy Scout, because the way that the way that the points are distributed. Okay, we're gonna get Santos. Yeah, that probably makes sense. Santos is gonna take the last point of deadliness here, obviously, but after this, we'll actually level up Boy Scout. And that we will have a second person who can call in reinforcements and stuff. And somebody who can do command center stuff if we really need the drums to keep going. You were getting Badlander because you still have a perk slot to unlock. And you... Yeah, you can take this critically important point of beefiness, which for some reason raises max gear weight by 10 points by itself. And it's so nice to see the trader again, although these deals are not super compelling to me. Gosh, do we ever have enough leather already, you know? Alright, so let's see if we can make some forward progress here. Let's see if we can do something violent. We're gonna have to reach into his territory. Advanced Vehicle Blueprints Volume 3 is probably pretty cool. Here we get training manuals and a lot of raptor ornaments. I do want the training manuals. We'll probably get the blueprints. Oh boy, I do want the blueprints too, is the thing. At this point, when we get blueprints, they're usually pretty exciting. But imagine, with our new weight limit, being able to add another gun. Yeah, we're gonna go this way. Plus, this is a little bit more of a drive, and it's closer to territory we've never been in before. So there's a little bit more of a chance that we'll encounter a relic this way. I don't know for sure how many relics are out there, or whether there's anything cool left in them. But the last time we found a relic, it sure was pretty rad. We sure did get a good reward for doing so. And then after this, we might spend some time on a little redesign. What do we got here? Okay, Big Lightning Storm is pretty much just an annoyance. So we want to take the whole landslide trail down to Isolation Outpost. Well, we're going to be in combat soon enough. Aw. They're all dodging my attempts to ram them. Where is... Oh, it's just the Fanatic, or the Order Zeppelin. This is annoying. These are really hard to dodge during combat. I have so much other stuff going on, you know? Okay, I'm not sure that warrants a ping to the binoculars. We can all see that there's like a weird thing happening. Well, that unfortunately is just shooting directly into my own armor. You, on the other hand, should have an easier time targeting. Hopefully the first bowling ball just knocks the armor plating off entirely. Are they not? Are they just not going to shoot at the towers? That's okay. They shot one eventually. There we go. I was gonna say, those things are definitely impeding our ability to do damage. They should shoot at them. No, I want to shoot the gunner up here. Ah, whatever. The driver is going to be more or less visible. That was a big hit. I heard that system go. What is that? That's a fuel tank. That's pretty important. We should get somebody repairing the fuel tank. Alright, Barrett's back there anyway. He's got it under control. Okay. There's a lot of fighting going on out here. Also sandworms. I mean, I probably don't need to do all this fighting, but it is nice to pick up the loot. We don't have infinite supplies of the high level stuff yet, so. Yeah, anytime the miniguns are actually firing, our damage output seems to be pretty high, but we are definitely not seeing them shoot all that much. I do think we're having the exact same problem we were last time, although sometimes they'll just shoot right through the rest of the truck in a way that seems extremely productive. Shoot the thing in front. Oh, that's not the direction I was pointing at all. Yeah, that's crazy. That was like 180 degrees wrong. Alright, and everybody's injured. And also, we lost all of our armor. Let's take turns getting healed up real fast. I guess, unfortunately, our armor is good enough now that we don't really do anything real fast. Boy, that's really close, actually. Think about this. Are you sure? Come on, minigunners. Yeah, you can see there's a lot of miniguns just sitting idle. Okay, we can veer off and grab that. the driver run back and hit the blood bank here. We give our people time to finish fighting off all the enemies and then actually open up the caches. Yeah, it's a pretty healthy complement of loot, actually. Alright, back to work with you. Okay, and we're ready to go. And this is our stronghold just ahead. Do that without wasting any drum charges. So, I've gotten used to firing the drums like quite late in the battle because we had a number of experiences there where, or not firing the drums, but firing the reinforcement calls quite late, because we had a number of experiences where if we called them early, we would just have them time out right as the boss came out. I'm thinking that that's maybe no longer a problem because we really are burning down waves of enemies much faster now. So I might just have Merritt do the reinforcement call right here once we actually get in, and then jump over to the drums like I was doing initially. Especially since we need to be on drums to be able to fire the rest of our abilities. Actually, maybe I need to start the healing thing right away. One big downside of the way the enemies damage is scaled up is that when people take damage now, they take like, you know, it's no longer like a stream of incoming damage that is like, you can kind of mitigate it based on time. It's like these huge individual damage events where one person gets capped for 80%. And that makes it super hard to like guess at a rate. You know, people who have played healers in MMOs will know that massive spikes of damage against a backdrop of nobody taking anything is absolutely the worst kind of healing to have to manage. Okay, yeah, when these things are turning and spinning free, they are terrifying. So I'll just have to redesign a little bit. I don't know what my driver's currently doing. Do you guys have a car over there that you're not managing to kill? Yes, this is my concern. They sequester one of the enemies off in the distance. Oh, it's Giggles again. Okay, so this is actually very bad because our toxic damage reduction is poor and he just fills the arena with gases. However, if we can get close and we can get some good Giggles specific targeting, we should be able to bring him down really fast, and if we can't, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So let's try to do that. People on the back of the car should have still a clean, reasonably clean shot. It looks like none of that machine gun volley hit him at all. But y'all have the cleanest shots in the history of shooting. Please just deliver a bowling ball directly to his skull. I'm sure, yeah, like that. I'm sure he will appreciate it. Feels like it's sort of right within his gimmick. Okay, there we go. We saw the last bowling ball land. Giggles is in fact dead already. And yet, he still is able to speak and issue orders. Yeah, fuck Giggles the Clown. I'll say it. I kind of thought the mission was going to be over, so I didn't bother to drive. That's on me, I suppose. You have to get within a certain distance of the Stronghold. See, here's the big cloud of poison gas. Very difficult to fight in. This is how you remember. I lost 2 people in between episodes. This is how it happened. Was fucking Giggles and his gas clouds. But all right, another critical outpost. Sarcophagus. Do not make me come out there. All right, we're still pulling training manuals. We're still pulling lots of XP for everyone. We're getting lots of a lot of purple skull resources from the newer strongholds and outposts. The orator builds his refuge upon stolen faith. He does not lead, he controls. But control can be broken, just as you have broken another of his pawns. I mean, you say that. I feel like we've killed that guy dead like 4 times, and he keeps coming back, so. I will believe that that guy is dead as soon as we see the corpse, and not a moment sooner. Merit doesn't really need more gear weight. Yeah, all right. I was considering taking the point of beefiness anyway, just for the move speed. Yeah, so the value of healing over time like that also is pretty blunted when we're up against damage spikes of this size. Campbell still working on perk slots. Santos now working on Boy Scout. Okay. After completing mission objectives but before returning to base, all conscious crew heal 50%. Interesting. We rarely need that, right? I don't think that's actually worth equipping. After completing the mission objectives is not the time that we need health. All right, one more critically important refuge here to grab. And you know what? Let's just knock it out. Let's just go get him. So I'm trying to think, who is the other? The vultures, the gun nuts, the clowns, and the pyros. Is it the gun nuts guy that we haven't seen under order control yet? I think that's who this is going to be. Oh, right. I was going to redesign the truck to put the... Well, whatever. We'll do it after this. We will maximize our threat profile and also try to make the truck stop doing that. That seems really bad for the structure. Here's one thing I will say. We have unlocked the ability to attach multiple trailers to one truck, and I have a ton of spare keys. I absolutely could unlock the ability to attach even more trailers, but it's really hard for me to imagine wanting to have a second trailer with the resources that we have access to. Right? Like I don't think that things scale up in a way that justifies a second trailer. I guess like right now we're starting to see it become hard to jam more stuff onto the trailer we have a little bit, and if I didn't have the big airport tug, then I guess that problem would be worse. Yeah, I guess that's really what it comes down to, is partially I just don't need storage space because I'm using the airport tug, and if we didn't, I probably would in fact want to have want to consider a second trailer. But more than that, I would probably just be thinking about, you know, putting a second level on the existing trailer using the tools we have to construct a second floor over more of it. Oh, I was going for the waist shots and immediately got put inside the range of the speaker bike. That's a pretty good side bump there. I'm surprised how alive that thing still is. Okay, I was getting ready to bump it again, honestly. All right. It takes a lot of magnesium to run a war truck. Alright, this should get everybody back to approximately full, although it looks like we might get into combat before Bubik is back on. I do not know what would compel you to come after us alone. I'll say this, he's surviving for a shockingly long amount of time. I was not really expecting much to come of that at all. Somehow Bubik needs healed again. See, this is a little bit my concern. If we redesign the trucks so that these guns are raised up and not getting stuck on the armor at all, then I do think they're going to be much more, the gunners are going to be much more shootable. Do I really need to... Why would they not just shoot at it on their own? Why do I need to tell them what to do? Okay, so I need to pretty much just like stick to the left wall here as we go into the dust storm. Very annoying. Yeah, and even with our engine efficiency all the way back up at 100%, still, we're generating so much heat by just driving around. Like, I want to hurry through this, but I can't afford to blow the engine. I mean, I can't afford to heat up without blowing the engine. I guess we could just, like, blow a point of health off the engine and have somebody go repair it. It doesn't actually seem to be all that big of a deal. It's annoying though, the little engine flicker. It makes me nervous that we're going to suddenly lose a chunk of health on the engine at a really inopportune time, you know?
Our
Oh man, this sandworm emerging from the tornado is quite a visual. They've done some good work to craft some really impressive stuff in this game. Hey, fuck you, buddy. Ram me. Let's just go ahead and call in some folks. I'm gonna give us some nice general directions here. Honestly, maybe even reduce the size of the circle by reducing speed. And then you gotta get on drops. Combat drums are so important. I can't manage to see. I was really hoping to shoot at this tower here. That looks like it's probably a little higher than I told you to aim. We are well and truly stuck on something, but it doesn't seem to be mattering very much. Like, between us and the friendlies, the enemies are dying all over the place, so... We got new reinforcement waves coming out of the Stronghold pretty much constantly. Yeah, geez, look at that. Yeah, like, honestly, what are you doing right now, Simois? Like... I might need to take manual here. Let's just... I will control the driving because you seem a tiny bit confused. Don't seem to be any enemies out. Okay, here we go. There is... You know what? This will work. I was gonna say let's focus on the speaker truck, but I guess it doesn't actually matter, right? As long as our drummer's playing. Oh, we're already out of things to shoot at again. Gonna have to get out here sometime. Boss is waiting for my reinforcements to disappear. Yep, there it is. Okay, riding a big nuke seems very safe. Riding a big nuke with a rocket launcher attached to the side of it. Well, there you go. Turns out the bowling ball cannons once again get the job done. It's hard to argue with the efficacy of a bunch of bowling balls directly to a person's face. I kind of wish, honestly, I know there's lots of reasons that they cannot or should not do this, but I kind of wish that it made the home run sound from the home run bat in Smash Brothers, you know? That's essentially what's happening. Force-wise, that's what's happening. They may as well. I can't believe that it feels like the things that are closest to us should be gaining support, not losing it. I don't know. System's still a little bit of a mystery to me. All right, what does advanced vehicle blueprints mean? Some fancy stuff, a 16-cylinder engine. Ooh, the XL storage cage. Magnesium shelves. This is probably the best flamethrower that we've ever seen. So it might be interesting. It might be something worth exploring. Well, that's the last of the faction warlords defeated. Again. Who would have thought they'd all be lining up to help the Order? I suppose after losing control of some of their strongholds, they didn't have much choice. You and your crew, you've come a long way. I'll say I reckon you couldn't have done it without me. Yeah, you know. Somebody's got to feed everybody. The Order's refuge is right ahead. Let's get ourselves prepared and show them what we're made of once and for all. Alright, so it does seem like we are coming up on the end of it. Is this the most critical time to decide to redesign the trucks? Truck, singular? Yes, of course. Why not? Why wouldn't I do it now? Ooh, look at that. Extra life. We were still working on Badlander? Yeah, kind of, but like also kind of not. I definitely put a point in just like general health last time. Yeah, you know what? At this point, I'm not going to pick up the other perk thing. Let's just get you tougher. Are you... You are also not getting your other perk. Yeah, I might want to just focus on toughness. And actually, Campbell, I probably do want to equip quick on your feet. That's actually a really important one. Okay, and then you are grabbing points in Boy Scouts. Okay, Boy Scout lets us... Well, it gives us another level of call-in backup. I think it's still fine. Alright, so... 20 clown skulls. Oh yeah, for leather, absolutely. We do that as many times as we are allowed. Fiberglass into quality components, premium components out of bleached bones. I think the rest of these, I think I'm good. But yeah, the clown skull ornament thing definitely worth considering. So, these shelves have more HP. I don't think we've ever seen our shelves get damaged, but these ones do way less than the scrap metal cantilevered shelves that I'm currently using to extend our stuff here and there. So that's interesting, I suppose. Just an efficiency thing, but unfortunately it's a very small efficiency thing. I mean, this bumper is very cool. It doesn't actually do a different amount of damage, but it is much, much neater than the one we have on currently. Hold on, let me try to position us correctly. Yeah, let's... So this is, yeah, 90 DPS with a 10% short stun chance. Literally mechanically identical. But there are other reasons to equip a thing. It's not all mechanics. I like that very much, in fact. Okay. Improvements. Any number of additional skulls on a vehicle. The Slug Storm Heavy Shotgun. Only 75 range. But it does quite a lot of damage overall. About 70 DPS spread across two types. That's kind of neat. The High Octane Flame Sprayer. Still only 25 range. Does good burning work, but, you know. Yeah, toxic DPS way too low to be important. What did we pick up here? Oh, right, the storage cage. So this is 600 units at 200 weight in an 8x8 space compared to a large storage cage, which has the same footprint. Yeah, the XL's taller. That's interesting. So it's 50% more stuff in the same footprint. 250 weight versus 200 weight. Wow. That's weird. That almost seems like a bug. It's just like straight better in almost every way. Not that you need to necessarily carry around a huge amount of loot. But like, if I didn't have the airport tug, if I was using one of the long nose cabs or something, and we had like, you know, we were tight on space, I could see that actually being something of a lifesaver. I bet wheels have different amounts of HP and stuff, and they're just not showing us. And then the armored 16-cylinder is a good, yeah, midpoint, I guess, but like, obviously we're never trading off of our legendary engine. Where are we at on crew? So we do have 13 training manuals. Are we in a position where we can take on the final mission, or do we need to do more stuff first? Right, we have to open the Stronghold barrier. Okay, so we got a couple missions left to go. I will probably have a look around and see how feasible it is to lay hands to some more training manuals. Unfortunately, it's really not easy to quickly check for, like, I have to go to each stronghold and actually click on each mission to see the rewards. It's not easy to quickly check for manuals as a reward, but I will try to find some. It would be cool to go into the final battle with one more gun. And there might be a somewhat comprehensive redesign of the truck in our near future, as well, as we, first of all, try to make use of the extra gun that we're going to earn, and secondly, try to get all of our guns into positions where they're completely unimpeded by their surroundings. Yeah, looks like there's spare keys available. So my experience with these, like the race missions, is that they seem to alternate. That race mission that I undertook earlier today was one that gave training manuals, so I'm not surprised to see this spare keys, and this gives spare keys, and if I do this, then the next one will give manuals. So I think that's probably what will have to happen. We'll have to do a race or two that's not very interesting to get to 20 manuals, which is why I will do it off camera. Ooh, or deliver a shipment of supplies to Hyena Outpost and get some training manuals right now. Also bleached bones, which is a component that we're not super tall on. And this is probably actually quite easy to do. You know what? Let's bang this out before we end the episode. And then I'm sure I'll still be able to get them from doing races and stuff. We'll get there. We'll get there. I believe I saw a tooltip or a loading screen or something at some point that said you can get as high as 9 crew members. It feels a little bit crazy to me, the amount of time you would have to spend farming training manuals. Like, we're already going to have to go out of our way. Yep, working on it. We're already going to have to go out of our way and intentionally slow down our progress just to get to 8. But I suppose that's with, like, of the vast majority of our missions have been successful. If you are somebody who is not as, who does not have quite the same success rate, then I suppose maybe it feels a little bit less, like slowing down and having to burn time. There's some crates and some kind of battle going on over there. That kind of stuff is definitely not worth pursuing from our point of view. Like, the value that we would get out of crates from here, I'm sure it's all just like green resources and whatnot. Yeah, look at that. We're pulling scrap components and old tire rubber. It has been a minute since we were this far back on the map. Okay, that's a perfectly reasonable way for you to behave. No, let me back up, please. I can't believe how slow this escort vehicle drives. I thought this was going to be really fast because it's such a short distance, but... I will say one thing I kind of don't like about this, even though the front of the new bumper does look objectively awesome, is that the little fire effects on the front of the car keep making me think my driver is stunned. I think I'm seeing the little stars, and once I adjust to them and stop seeing that, it's gonna be. I bet there's gonna be at least one time where I disregard that the driver is stunned because I think it's just a fire effect. Where are you going, friend? It's this way. Alright, hopefully we can speed this up a little bit. I gotta make sure I don't get too far ahead, obviously, because we could lose our support vehicle to a random nerds just trying to pick them off. But I do wish they would, like, there's no reason that this convoy needs to be traveling in this slow little VW bus. They could just load all the convoy goods into my supply containers. I could certainly get the run done faster. Or hell, we could just move my supply containers to the side and put the VW bus on top of the airport tug. Doing my level best here to do nothing that might slow down the travel of the convoy vehicle. Okay. Alright, that was actually kind of silly. But whatever. If it gets us the training manuals, that's all we really care about. Yeah, one sort of quality of life thing that I would really like to see them implement is just a display on, like, over the top of the mission icon, just showing you what kinds of things are earned. It doesn't even need to be the values, but just show the icon for each type of reward that is part of that mission, to make that process of quickly flipping through stuff looking for individual resources a little bit easier. Okay. Out of curiosity, are there more of those kinds of things around there? Yeah, we really have not fought the Pyros very much. We still don't even have their basic blueprints. Okay, no training manuals for that export, or that escort. Word just fell completely out of my brain after the first time I said it. All right, you know what? I'll handle this stuff off camera. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, I will have redesigned the truck a little bit. I don't know that I'll have an 8th crew member, but I'll at least have a truck design that's ready to accept, that is eager to take on gunner number 6. and hopefully one that feeds all of these weapons a little bit more effectively. And we will push on toward the end of the game, and we'll see you then.